All right. So I was saying when the call dropped that the company you work for is, they are a business and they make money. We'll end it on this one. I just hope that they respect you and protect you and make sure you're okay, because that's important.
I have 100% faith that they will. I do. Look, it's an awkward and it's a complicated situation, but I like this company. I'm happy to work here. I'm happy to have a job, and hopefully, I feel confident that they're going to do the right thing by me.
That's what's up. All right, so now that we got that over with, let's jump into the fun stuff. First and foremost, I love y'all's show. I downloaded the app, and it's a great show.
Thank you.
It's great, and everybody needs to definitely get the app if you're not from the New York City area, and listen to it. 77 WABC. All right, so the current mood in America, everybody's pissed off. It's like everybody's just pissed off. Give me your thoughts on that. What do we got to do to turn this thing around?
Oh my God! If I had the answer to that, I would be president probably. I think what I constantly say on Curtis and Juliet is something that it sounds very logical and it sounds really great, but it's really hard. I think it's going to be really hard to get people to do it because we have become a society that is extremely protective of our own party. Everybody is very, very, very passionate about their party, and it's the passion to the point that we become blind and we give blind loyalty to our party. Now, I'm an independent, so I don't really have a party anymore. But what I always say is, until we start calling out our own, in other words, until Democrats start calling out Democratic leaders for misbehaving, and Republicans start calling out their leaders for misbehaving, we are going to go nowhere. We have to call our own out, because then it gives us credibility to call the other side out. There's so much hypocrisy. I mean, what we yell about, let's say I'm a Biden supporter. I mean, pretty much, it could be a fruit bat running against Donald Trump, and I would support the fruit bat. But in all seriousness, so I support Biden. I'm not a Democrat, but I do support him. But I'm capable of calling things out about him that I don't like. I feel like there are a lot of Democrats who just cannot do it because they feel like once they do that, oh God, then they've offered up. They've offered up Biden. And it's like, no, start criticizing and start holding your own people responsible. Start holding them to a higher standard. If we don't do that, we're not going to have credibility and we're going to go nowhere. But the problem is that, we're so divided and we're so angry and we don't hold our own and to a higher standard. We don't call our own out. And that's the big problem. And, and I just think we're going to keep going round and round and round.
It's a great answer. And you know what? You walk the walk too, because I see you go in on Mayor de Blasio. You are not happy with de Blasio at all, and nor am I. I'm from New York. I just shake my head. I used to be proud to tell people I'm from New York, and now I hide it.
No, I get it. I mean, the thing is, look, I was a Republican my entire life. I worked for Fox News. I mean, I wasn't some alt-right winger, but I was Republican. I fiscally conservative, socially liberal. I definitely say I was a left-leaning Republican, but I was a Republican nonetheless. Because of Donald Trump and because of his GOP supporters, I'm talking about the politicians, I am anti-GOP at this point. I'm disgusted because I do think that they have sold their souls. I mean, look, politicians sell their souls on both sides of the aisle. But in this particular case, I think that they have sold their souls to a point that they can never return. And it's extremely frustrating to me when I know people that I am friends with, people that I've worked with, I know that they hate Trump. But they sit there and they say, because of their jobs or because of their power, they support him. And I find that repulsive. And so, I criticize Trump, and our listeners are primarily right-leaning. And a lot of them are very passionate Trump supporters, and they hate me because I criticize Trump. They never listen. They don't care about the fact that I also criticize Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York City, and I'm very critical of Governor Cuomo, and I'm critical of the riots, and I'm critical. I mean, but that doesn't matter to them. They just hear criticism of Trump, and it's like, you are the devil, Juliet. You're the devil, and that makes me crazy. So that's what I'm talking about. Why can we not look at something rationally and say, this is wrong, and it sucks because I'm a Democrat, and this is wrong. This is a terrible thing that Democrats are doing, and I'm going to call it out. But nobody's doing that, and they're not doing it on the right either. And I mean, I'm grateful for groups like the Lincoln Project and Midas Touch for being Republicans who, like me, said, hell no, we're not going to support this, and this is not who Republicans are. And I just appreciate, I just wish that more people would do that from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, 100% agree. You know, it's really, if you're an objective-minded person, and God forbid an independent, because I'm kind of down the middle too, I get so much bull crap on my social medias, on Facebook especially, because I'm like you, I'll call out Trump when I think he's screwing up, and also, you know, when he does something okay, I'll also say that, and then I get hit from the other side. It's like, if you're an independent, objective person, you got to take fire from both sides nowadays.
Well, that's a funny point that you bring up, because a lot of times we'll have listeners call in and they'll say, it doesn't matter what Trump does. You hate him. You're a never Trumper. And to be quite honest with you, I am a never Trumper. I mean, I hate these stupid little names, like never Trumper, and I can't stand that. But the fact is, okay, if you want to label me as a never Trumper, I am, because I believe that he is a danger to the country. And so he could do something that I agree with. For instance, I actually agree with him threatening to defund New York City and other cities where these riots have gotten out of control. Yeah. I actually kind of support that. But the fact is, I still, and I can say, I think that, I kind of do back that up. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that I think he is a danger to the world, a danger to our country. And no, I can't support him. And there's nothing that he could do to make me support him. I mean, he could he could find a cure for cancer. I still will not support him, because I think he is a degenerate, a con man, and just a frightening human being. And I know the guy. I've met the guy. I know how he lies. He lies to your face. And when I knew him, I mean, he wasn't running for president. He was the apprentice guy, you know, the billionaire developer, however much money he has, and he was a character. But he wasn't scary to me, because he wasn't running the country. He was just some character that cracked me up, but I didn't take it seriously. But now it's like, yikes. And when he was running for president, I thought, you guys, wait a second, this guy is known as a con man. I mean, he's cheated people out of money. Trump University, I mean, his Trump organization, the Trump Foundation, what are we doing here? Why are we letting this happen? And so that's a big concern of mine. So I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. There's never going to be a time that I will say, yes, this guy deserves to be president. Yeah.
The thing he said about John McCain, I'm a veteran myself, served in the Navy. That's the thing I just can't get past. That when he said that about, because really he wasn't just slapping John McCain. When he said I only like guys that don't get caught, he just stuck a dagger in every prisoner of war and in every war that America's ever been in.
And to me, I just went, how the hell, if you are a military person, or you have a family member in the military, or you just respect the military, how could you let this guy continue on to be president? It was mind-boggling to me. And now, you know, with this story coming out in the Atlantic that the president, you know, according to multiple anonymous sources, referred to the war dead as losers and suckers. Look, the fact is, and I tweeted about this today, the word loser he uses judiciously. I mean, this is a word that he is constantly throwing around, and he's on videotape. I mean, it's not just audio, it's videotape calling McCain a loser, saying things about getting caught, or getting busted. That's when you're a loser. I mean, so none of this would surprise me. I just hope that the people who are anonymously quoted in this article come out and say something.
Yeah,
I mean, that would be.
I hope to have some audio of it. I would love to. I would love to verify that.
Same. I mean, I think it's important, and look, the fact is, I often hear from our listeners. Oh, well, once again, anonymous sources. Well, guess what? Anonymous sources have been a part of journalism since, the dawn of time. It's just that you don't like it now because Trump has said fake news, fake news, fake news. So you think that all news is fake. I mean, anonymous sources are an integral part of journalism. I mean, deep throat, otherwise we wouldn't have broken millions of stories out there because we use anonymous sources.
Yep. I did when I was when I was doing boxing mixed martial arts journalism. I founded a website, and we would always get, little scoops from people that didn't want to go on a record, but shoot, they were valuable people.
Absolutely. And I mean, you run the risk of having a liar get in there, but the fact is that most of these journalists from the big papers, and from the big sites, New York Times, Washington Post, I mean, I've had to deal with them myself. I know that these are legit journalists. I mean, they pride themselves on being very, very diligent and vetting and, not running with something just because it sounds like a good story. I mean, you'll get somebody who contradicts that every now and then, but for the most part, these are the best of the best. And, anonymous sources are necessary, but I also think in situations like this, man, it would be great to hear some of these anonymous sources come out and actually come, and show their faces. Yeah,
I agree. All right, so obviously the big election's coming up. It's already September. It's right around the corner. So I understand fully who you don't want to win. So I want to get your objective thoughts on this. Obviously, the first person to 270 electoral votes will be the president. Who do you think is going to get there? Does Trump have a shot at re-election, or does Biden? Who do you think? Give me your thoughts.
I thought, up until a couple weeks ago, I thought Biden had a real shot. I am concerned about it because one of the big issues for me, as with many people in this country, are the riots and the lack of safety in some of our cities, and this hacking the police and suggesting that all police are terrible and police need to be, essentially wiped away. I mean, my God, New York City's mayor's wife says New York would be a utopia without the police force.
Unbelievable.
These are left-wing radicals and very, very progressive people who feel this way, and they don't represent, in my opinion, the Democratic Party. But I need Biden. I need to hear from Biden and Kamala Harris. This is what we will do. If I am elected, if we are elected, if our ticket is elected president, vice president, here's what I'm going to do to bring these rioters and vandals and troublemakers to justice, despite the fact that they are, in the Democratic Party or left wing. This is what I'm going to do because I don't care that they may not vote for me if I say this. This is anarchy, and this cannot happen. This cannot be allowed in our cities. We cannot allow this to go any further. But the fact is that Biden's, he's not going to say it because he does need those votes. The same reason that Trump isn't going to call out the alt-right racist, KKKers, because he needs the votes. And does that mean that he's a right-wing Nazi? No. Does that mean that Biden is a left-wing Antifa? No. But, man, I need to hear him call it out because I am concerned about what's going on in our cities. I am concerned about safety and watching New York fall apart. I mean, my God, I come in from Long Island. I've never been scared to walk around New York City, not at night. And certainly not during the day until the last several months. I mean, I'm nervous walking around. I have my pepper spray in my hand, ready to go. I'm glaring at everybody. I put my headphones in, my earphones in, and I talk like a psycho person. I swear to God, Brad, I really do. I pretend like I'm on the phone psycho talking.
Wow.
Because I feel like maybe somebody will go, wow, she's nuts.
Yeah.
We just won't. Or maybe we'll go to somebody else who looks a little bit more, amenable. Because I'm like, and cursing and just looking like a complete lunatic. And I literally do this as I'm walking down the street, hoping that somebody who wants to, mug me is going to go, oh, she's going to be trouble.
I actually worry about you. I've tweeted that to you. You make me nervous when you try. And I know you can't help it, and you got to get the working back. It's like, but I get nervous, man. And plus you're a public figure. That also makes me nervous.
I'm a big mouth.
People know your face, and from the TV days too. It's makes me a little bit nervous, man. So just be careful on that.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, so let's move along. So Kamala Harris, obviously everybody knows she's the vice presidential candidate. I had a feeling that's who he was going to pick. I mean, that's the one that I predicted. What is your thoughts on, God forbid something would happen? Let's say Vice President Biden wins, and he couldn't complete the first term for whatever reasons, and we pray that would never happen. But do you think Kamala Harris is ready to step right in there to lead the country as president?
I do. I mean, I need to see more of her, but I do think she is. I'm really impressed by her. I mean, I think her prosecution record, her record as a prosecutor, I mean, there are some blips here and there, but for the most part, I think she's proven herself to be strong. I think she's a rational woman. There are some things that I'm a little concerned about, but for the most part, yeah, I think that she would be a force to be reckoned with, frankly. Mm-hmm. And in all honesty, I am concerned about Biden and his cognitive health. Yeah, I 100% am. I'm way more concerned, frankly, about Donald Trump, but for different cognitive or mental health reasons. But I am concerned about Biden. I don't know that he is 100% up for the task. I don't know. It makes me nervous. But I also believe that Biden will surround himself with people who are solid advisors. I do believe, just on everything that I've known about him and heard from, colleagues over the years while working at Fox News, that this was a guy who was able to reach across the aisle and bring people together. And I respected that about him. And I know that others respected him because of that on the Republican side. And I think that he's going to surround himself with good people. And I don't think that he is, despite what the president says, I don't think that he is a puppet of the far left. I truly do not think that. I think that he's aware that he's not the smartest guy in the room. Yes, he stumbles. Yes, he bumbles and fumbles his words. Maybe he's not. He's in his late 70s. But I think Kamala Harris is. I think she definitely has major potential, and I would feel comfortable with her having to take the reins if necessary. Yeah.
I like her. I don't agree with all of her politics, but she comes across as charming and intelligent, well-spoken. Yeah. And I do think that the leadership quality would be there. I think she would be able to grow into the part very fast. I think. Yeah, I agree.
I agree. And honestly, that's one of the reasons that I feel comfortable supporting Biden, because he picked somebody that I think, if necessary, will be able to go in seamlessly. Mm-hmm. I truly do.
Yeah. All right. So I remember in 2016 when I watched Trump pull off basically a royal straight flush to win the thing. It was amazing. I was just, my jaw was like hitting my feet when I was watching the coverage of that. So the thing I'm watching closely come election night is going to be Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and then Florida, North Carolina a little bit, but Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania for sure. Those Rust Belt states, those are the ones that Trump flipped. So what do you think? Will Trump carry those states again, or do you think Biden will be able to flip them back blue in the general election?
God. Again, I would love to be prescient when it comes to this stuff. I am concerned because I think that the gap is narrowing a bit. We saw what happened with 2016. I mean, Hillary was leading in some of these areas by a pretty decent amount, and she still lost. And Trump still won. I think a lot is going to happen in the next month. I think it's really going to come down. In my opinion, I think it's really going to come down to Biden convincing us that he is going to be able to keep our states safe, to keep the country safe. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I honestly think that if Trump continues on with this, look, Biden represents the defacing of your beautiful cities and the skyrocketing crime, and he is a puppet of the far left. If Biden is not able to contradict that, then I think we're going to have a problem in those places. And and also because, I mean, look, if you're having the skyrocketing crime, and I'm just looking at New York City, people are moving out. People are saying, I don't want to deal with this. And the economy is really faltering. You know, no indoor dining in New York City. It's one thing after another. And people are going to look at that and go, these are left-wing leaders that are doing this, that are not allowing things to open up. And so it's all of that. It's all of that in combination. And I think Biden's really got to make it clear, I'm going to kickstart the economy. We're going to get things going again, and you're going to be safe. And I think that's what we need to hear, and we need to hear it in the next month.
I agree, and honestly, I think Biden would be smart. I don't think he loses more votes than he would gain. Democrats are business owners too, and then they're tired of their stores getting looted and burned down. You know what I mean? And people want to live in Portland and Seattle with all that crap going on. And I got to tell you, man, love him or hate him, Trump's got an ace card with that. He does. Because the cities that are in shambles the most are Democrat, or mostly Democratic.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when these Trump supporters and Trump himself says that, and Fox News, they all claim Biden hasn't condemned the violence. Yes, he has. Go back to May 31st. I mean, it was just starting.
Yeah. He
came out and specifically said, protesting is America. It's American, you know, as he didn't say apple pie, but I mean, I'm paraphrasing. But he said, but rioting is not. And he was very clear about that, and he has been. But what he hasn't done is been clear about what he's going to do to make sure that the violence and the rioting doesn't continue if he's elected. How is he going to stop it? What will he do? What specifically will he do? Will he insist, you know, to his Democratic leaders? Will he threaten to defund? I mean, what the hell is he going to do? Because frankly, that's what he should do. He should threaten to defund these states, even if they do have Democratic leadership. So that's what I think. But I need to hear. I need to know what he's going to do.
Yeah, I agree. That's a problem. That's a big problem right now. All right, a few more. I know you're probably pressed for time, so we'll try to get through these last few points.
Okay.
Why do you think Donald Trump never goes after Vladimir Putin? Every other leader he's got nicknames for. He's always, you know, slapping around the European leaders. He's slapping around Rocket Man, and Putin just gets a pass every time.
Well, I mean, look, I believe, and you can say it's just because I hate Trump, but I actually believe that there is some sort of blackmail situation.
I do too.
That's my personal feeling.
I do too. I think here's my. This is just, of course, a theory. I think it's possible when Trump was doing the Apprentice thing and traveling the world. This is just this is just a theory. I can't back this up. This is just my theory.
Yeah.
They could have him in a hotel room doing some crazy stuff on video back when he was the celebrity guy, and Trump knows it, and Putin let him know it, and it could be something as simple as that Trump just would lose his mind if that ever got out.
I agree with you. I think that there's been, to me, nefarious business dealings. I definitely think that. But, you know, I don't know if you read Mary Trump's book, his niece's book.
Oh, I have. I did.
My jaw was just, I just went, you know what? This explains a lot. And I believe what she said, because it was a very accurate portrayal of his behaviors. And I thought, this explains a lot. He literally lionizes the bad guys. It's the brutes, it's the bullies. Those are the people that he likes. That's what he likes. And you know, you don't have a bigger bully than Vladimir Putin. The fact that President Trump has not said anything, has not condemned the poisoning of
recently, exactly,
Navalny. I mean, Boris Johnson has. Angela Merkel has. Why do we not hear the president? He just nothing that Putin can do is bad enough for Trump. And there's no reason to me other than Putin's got something on him. The Russians have something on him. And look, I believe that there was Russian interference, of course. I believe that there was some sort of wheeling and dealing going on behind the scenes between the Trump campaign and Russia. I do. And I think it's going to come out. I just think that people are worried for their careers, and they're not going to say anything until they can be protected. So that's my personal feeling, not like I have any inside information.
Yeah.
It's just my gut.
Yeah, me too. I don't have anything. I can't prove anything. What my theory is, it's just I'm like you. I think something's got it. They must have something on them, because everybody else is like, you know, on the table.
Yeah.
They get it from Trump. He goes in on everybody except for one guy. You know, there's this sometimes, you know, a duck is a duck. You know,
Exactly. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
Exactly. All right, so let's pretend Biden wins this thing and we have a new reset in America, which I think we definitely desperately need. The country needs a reset. I was asked the other day, well, if you're going to vote for Biden, why? And I just think, well, if I do vote for him, it's basically because I think the country needs a reset. We just need a timeout for a minute and just kind of brush ourselves off and just go in a different direction. So let's say Trump does lose. What do you think the GOP needs to do to damage control and try to rebuild? What do you think? I know it's a big question, but what do you think?
Well, that is an awesome question. How do they rebuild? I think the first step is those who have protected him coming out and saying, this is why we did it. You know, but frankly, there's nothing that can make me support anybody that has supported him on the GOP side. Nothing. I mean, there's absolutely nothing. I just think it's the epitome of soul selling, and that is one of my biggest peeves. I can't stand it when I know colleagues of mine hate Trump, but they will, to keep their job and to keep listeners liking them, they will sit there and fawn all over him. That makes me so crazy. It's not even funny. And so it's really hard. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It would be a long time coming for me to ever support the GOP again. But to get the country back on its feet, I think the GOP needs to be supportive of Biden and not play these games. Both sides have to stop playing these games. Nancy Pelosi was in a hair salon. It was a setup. It wasn't a setup. Who gives a crap about this? This stuff is so ridiculous. But again, it comes down to let's start calling our own out, and then we can call the other side out. Let's stop being hypocrites. Let's start being authentic and honest. And until we can do that, until we all can do that, including our leadership, we're going nowhere. We're going to have the same problems over and over again.
Yeah. All right. Last thing I got, and then we'll talk about your social media and things like that. What is your opinion on the squad? Are these, of course, AOC and
Ayanna Pressley and Ilhan?
Yes.
I don't have a high opinion of them. Initially I had a lot of respect for AOC because of just what she achieved. And there were a lot of times when I've seen her speak and I thought, wow, she's this was good, particularly when she's grilling people, in hearings. I thought she's been particularly good in some instances, but I have since lost a lot of respect for her. I think she sort of bought in. I like to joke around and say she's the Kelly Ripa of politicians. I mean, Kelly Ripa was this sort of unassuming, charming little soap opera girl that happened to get lucky and get this amazing position on Regis and Kelly, and she was so charming. But then all of a sudden, as time started going on, she became bigger than the celebrities that she had on the show, and it was like she lost me there. That's sort of the situation with AOC. She lost that authenticity. She lost that grassroots thing very early on when she started becoming the queen and going on all the talk shows and just, with the red lipstick and the smiling and everything. And it's just like, I don't know. It put me off. And I also think that her politics are just whacked out, and I don't support them at all. And I think there's a lot of hypocrisy there with all of those squad folks. So, and I'm just not a hard left supporter at all. Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. Well, the other thing that kind of bothers me a little bit about AOC is she kind of ran on this Bronx girl. I'm the Bronx girl. Yeah. And I'm from like 5-10 minutes from her hometown in Yorktown, New York, where she was born. And she was only in the Bronx a couple of years. And
right.
I think she was like 2 or 3, and then she moved up to Yorktown. And we played Yorktown in high school. I mean, it's a quaint little upper middle class, northern Westchester County town. And she kind of like played that "I'm the Bronx girl" thing.
She did. Yeah, she did. I mean, the one thing that I said, I've defended her on that because I said, look, I mean, her grandmother or whatever lived there. I mean, a lot of times families are extremely close with the grandparents, and they do spend time, and you do feel like it's a second home. So I just gave her the benefit of the doubt early on with that. Yeah. But the fact that she doesn't spend any time, in her district at all, to me says she's just full of, you know what.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what about TV? Would you like another TV opportunity one day?
I would love, yes, of course. I miss it. I mean, it was all I cared about. It was everything that drove me. It was my dream. It was what I wanted since I was a little girl. And it was everything that I worked for. So yes, I would love to be back on television, but I do love radio. Radio's been, it's been a great change, and it's a lot of fun. It's different. Mm-hmm. But yes, I miss television, and I hope to someday have some wonderful news director or executive go, you know what? It's been too long. We need Juliet back. So
yes, I want you on TV too, and I'm happy that you're happy at radio. But I think the country needs you. I have a lot of admiration for you.
Thanks.
I think that you were excellent at your job too on Fox, and it was just terrible what happened to you. So with that being said, let's share your social media with everybody out there listening, where they can follow you and where they can listen to you on radio. And so the mic is yours, and I'm going to let you go.
All right, cool. Well, I can be followed on Twitter at Juliet Huddy TV. I haven't dropped the TV part of it, but oh well. I'm very active on Twitter. Twitter is like my main social media. I have an Instagram. It's Juliet Huddy TV. I have to be a lot better about Instagram. I got to be honest with you. And my Facebook is Curtis and Juliet. It's Curtis and Juliet on Facebook. Cool. I have a personal Facebook, but but that's my personal. I just keep it. It's my one little domain that I keep personal.
Definitely.
So you can listen to me from Monday through Friday from 12 to 3 East Coast time on WABC Radio, 77 WABC Radio, WABCRadio.com, or just download the 77 WABC app. And that's it.
Well, there it is, folks. I told you I was going to get her, and I got her. Jay Huddy, you're the best. I really appreciate you doing
Brad, this. You rock. And I'm so glad that we became friends, and I look forward to hanging with you in person someday.
I will be up in New York. Our film's doing really well, and it's called The House in Between.
You got to come in.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely, man. You need to watch the film. You can get it on Prime. It's on Amazon Prime.
I'm going to do that this weekend. I 100% promise you.
Awesome.